Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala. Call all Yahweh Ba'Shem, Hamashiach Yahushai, Barakatah. All right. I said all praises to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai. And I said, bless you all. Okay. Remember to stay on top of your Torah portions. All right. Because you guys need this milk. All right. Remember that. Let me do something real quick. Can I get started? Boom, bam. Shalom, shalom. Welcome. Hey, this Torah portion is going to be good and it's going to be insightful, okay? And it's going to be a lot of examples set in this Torah portion today. Come. Got that closed up. Almost there. Boom, bam, boom, pow, boys. Man, we just finished the Feast of Dedication Tuesday night. Going into Wednesday night. It was cool. It was good, man. Had fun with the Aki and the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Unity camp next week. All right. Y'all stay tuned for that, especially. That's always going to be something worth watching. All the brothers gather together. We scare white people when we gather together like that, in numbers. They don't like that. Oh, no, these niggas is gathered together. They not fighting each other. We can't do that. We can't let them gather together and not fight one another. No, we got to stop that. That's what they be doing, man. That's how it is. If you don't hurry up and load up, yeah. Let me check something real quick, man. Let me check something real quick. It's not tripping. Hey, throw out for those who are tuning in. All right. Everybody get your Bibles open. All right. You already know the Torah portions. You see the screen. Okay. You already know where we about to go right now. If you can hear me, press a 1. Baba Kushah, if you can hear me, press a 1. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. All right. There we go. Come. All right. It don't take so long to load up, man. You're tripping right now. Almost got there. Come on, just there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let me turn to my pages real quick. So, all right, cool. Let's go to Genesis chapter 41 and verse 1. Let's get this reading crack-a-lacking, man. I like the portions this week. I see, every time you read the scriptures, you see something different anyway. So, it's always something different. It's never the same, All right. Let me see, read my notes. Come. Cool. Got that. Okay, here we go. All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 1. Okay. And it reads, and it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. Okay. And behold, listen, when they say, and behold, something's about to happen, remember that. 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored, and lean flesh, and stood by their kind upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and the lean flesh kind did eat up the seven favored and fat kind. So Pharaoh awoke. So like, what's going on, man? It'll do to you. The Most High give you vision, people, they pop right up out their sleep. Like, huh? Like, what happened? You know, the Most High showing you something. You got to put it together. Verse 5. And he slept and dreamed the second time. That means he went back to sleep. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprang up after them. So it's talking about 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind. That's destruction right there. We all know that destruction in prophecies when it's talking about, you know, the east wind, east, north, south, and west east wind. We're talking about the destruction that's coming, all right? So when it said this right here, verse 6, and behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprang up after them. Something's coming up, all right? In verse 7, and the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and they called Uslak, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Talking about, hey man, I remember what happened about me. Means I remember my faults and what I did to you, right? Pharaoh was wroth with his servants and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to his interpretation of this dream, of his dream. And there was there with us a young man in Hebrew, servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dream. So now he brought him to mind on what happened. And he's thinking like, yeah, I put him in there. So now the king can be like, yeah, who else was in there with you? At the same time, he's going to tell him who's in there with you. He's just jogging his memory. Now the Pharaoh know what captain he's in the house of, and everybody else that's listening too. He's bringing them to remembrance of this man, this young man. All right. Let me turn my page. So in verse 12, it said, the last part of it interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream, he did interpret. So that other brother, according to his dream, he interpreted what happened, and what happened in his dream, it was interpreted. 13. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. So when he said he shaved himself, because you know the Egyptians they like shaving their bald heads and shaving their face and everything. So that's what Joseph was doing. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. That's because the Most High be with Joseph. That's what Joseph was allowed to do that. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon a bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. Like basically saying, we ain't never saw no kind like this, especially in Egypt. It ain't that bad out here where our kind will just go starving. You know what I'm saying? Verse 20. And the lean and the ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 fat kind. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they have eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as the beginning, so I woke. So you got to understand that metaphor. He's speaking in a similitude. Okay, he's referencing these kind as the land and what's going to happen. He said these ill-favored, they look just malnourished, ate up the big ones, ate up the favored ones. And then when they ate them up, it didn't even look like they ate them. So what happens like that? It's like, man, I'm doing all this work out here and the stuff, I'm planting these seeds and nothing's growing. Or these gophers are out here eating my vegetables. I'm doing all this work and they just come and eat everything up. It don't even look like I did any work out here. Verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up and one stalk full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. See, Joseph is starting to explain with it. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. All of them have something to do with each other. It's just one dream. You may have went to sleep twice, but it's one dream. Okay? Verse 25. Verse 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and full favored kind that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears, blasted with the east wind, shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, which God is about to do. He sheweth unto Pharaoh, behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. So, watch this. I'm going to pull a precept real quick. And I'm going to show y'all something that a lot of people probably missed when they read this. Where you at? Where you at? Here you go. Well, bear with me. Let me get this. All right, got it. Sirach 11:27. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, where was we just at? I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. This is Genesis chapter 41 and verse 30. I'm gonna start at 29. Behold, there comes 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. All the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And what do you mean by that is all the good harvest and everything is going to be forgotten. Why? Because that's affliction. Everybody going to be so afflicted, they're going to forget about everything. All right? Watch this. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. These people are going to forget all about ever having good crops and food and everything else. Why? This is Sirach chapter 11, verse 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deed shall be discovered. When you afflicted like that, you forget anything, man. And you got to understand that, like in a conversation, you just inflict just that person that you don't like, you know, and like just means hate. It's a synonym of hate. Dislike means hate. Hate means dislike. It's the same thing. Just one synonym, one word is made to be softer than the other. Okay, but you can be talking to somebody and forget what you have to say. You may not be wanting to talk to them. You just forget what you had to say. Affliction. That's how they forgot about all those that good plenteous in the land. It's affliction. Affliction will make you forget a lot of things, man. It really will. Verse 31. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. Let me say that again. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will surely bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh. And let them keep food in the cities, and that food shall be for store in the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one? And again, Pharaoh said, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. This is the Most High about to begin to exalt Joseph. All right. Young man is innocent, right? Let's find out. Let's go to the Maccabees real quick, man. Let's see why God, the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, exalted Joseph. We have Maccabees. This is First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 53. Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt because he kept the commandment. He was made Lord of Egypt. And that's what the Most High will bless all the 144,000 will be blessed because they kept the commandment. Joseph kept the commandment. What the Most High told him to do, he did it. He kept it. So where was I at again? Okay, y'all. Okay, I'm going to start at 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. Hey, we rocked that before them. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they carried before him, and they cried before him, Bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh. All right, let's find out what Pharaoh means. Pharaoh, in the Strongs of H6547, Pharaoh means a great house. All right, so in a great house called Joseph. Talking about his house, he's exalted in his house, a Pharaoh, Egyptian. So, verse 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph the name Zephanath Panah, and he gave him to wife Asentheth, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. So let's find out what her name means. Okay. What Joseph named? Pharaoh called Joseph name Zaphanath Panah. That means treasure of the glorious rest. All right, treasure of the glorious rest. That's what the name he gave him to Joseph. And he gave him a wife, Asanti, the daughter of, and he gave him to wife, Asanti, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. Let's find out what her name is. Her name is Potipharah. Let me see. Potipharah, belonging to the let's look this up real quick. I got the Strongs, so we're good. We'll go to Strong's H621. Let's see. Give me a second. Almost got there. Okay, his wife name Potipharah, he whom the Ra gave. He whom the Ra gave. All right. He whom the Ra gave. So I guess the Ra, I'm gonna have to look up that Ra thing. So this is Genesis chapter 41, verse 46. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. Okay. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left number, for it was without number. And and unto Joseph were born two sons before the years of famine. All right. So verse 50. And unto Joseph were born two sons before the years of famine came, which Asante the daughter, Asanteth, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Now, okay, this is where we run into a problem, because you got to understand the Egyptians today are the people from Sudan. Those are them. We can get into a long story, but if you want to hear it, it can be another class, and I can give you a breakdown on it. Joseph's mom, no, his wife is an Egyptian. Period. Point blank. Now I'll find out. Not Joseph's mom, but Manasseh's mom and Ephraim's mom is an Egyptian. So we got to find out Joseph's mom, who she is. Then you find out the father. What color is this man? Is he dark brown, light brown? Is he a so-called pale white man? See, Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. It'd be a good thing to find out, man. And it would be a good thing to find out what are the color of the real Egyptians. I could tell you all day, but it's up to you to put the work in and find out. If you want the class, let me know, and I can do a breakdown. We can all do it together and find out who these people are. Okay? Let's go back over here. Verse 51. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. Verse 53, the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteous that was in the land of Egypt were ended. All right. Now it ended in verse 53. It ended. Now, let's see what else happens. Verse 54. And the 7 years of Darth began to come according to Joseph late. And the 7 years of Darth means famine. Let me prove all things. It's in a Strong's H, 7458. Darth. And the Hebrew is Ra'ab. All right? Ra'ab. Famine. Hunger. Famished. All right? So verse 54. And the 7 years of Darth became to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. All right, the famine. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, who he saith to you, do. And the famine was all over the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was sore in all the lands. All right. So now the famine started. Everybody from the surrounding lands is coming into Egypt, like modern day Egypt today. This is Great Babylon. All right. So everybody's coming in here getting food. All the other lands is famished. That's because America did that too. This great whore. But this is today your modern Egypt, America. All right. This is your Egypt here. So you got Joseph's wife, right? She brought him two sons. She was an Egyptian woman, Manasseh and Ephraim. Let's see. So I want to show y'all something in chapter 41, verse 54 to 57, right? And the 7 years of dearth became to come according to Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, what go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. And the famine was all over the face of the earth, and Joseph opened. Now, this same saying right here, this is symbolizes what Isaiah said in chapter 60, verse 1 through 5, and then verses 10 to 13. You can read about it. Go there. It's the same thing Isaiah was saying over there. I caught on to that, wrote that in here as a note. You know, remember with the Most High, why Joseph was having these dreams and stuff, and Joseph gave you that prophecy when he was standing around his brothers and he was talking about the stars and the moon and everything, the moon, sun and the moon and the stars and everything else. And the sun and the moon represents the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That was in Genesis 37 and 9. The Most High gave Joseph wisdom and understanding. You know, yeah, that's what he gave him. He gave him wisdom and understanding in chapter 37. So when certain prophecies came up, you know, the Most High already endowed it to him, the understanding through his sleep. And he was able to break those down like the Most High told him. All right. So here we go to chapter 42. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do you look one upon another? And he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. He's basically saying, I don't want nothing to happen to my baby boy. Or if some mischief happened, my youngest ain't going to be able to handle himself like the oldest will. So that's what he's saying. Verse 5. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor of the land. And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Now, see, if y'all follow me in these Torah portions, y'all be able to hit precepts right now. Y'all be able to hit them precepts, man. Y'all be hitting them precepts, bing, bing, bam. All right? You gotta be able to hit those precepts. So this is Genesis 37 and 5. Genesis chapter 37, starting at verse 5, right? We're gonna read the 8. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. Why? Because their father gave him more love than them, even made him a colorful coat. They were envious of Joseph because he was getting more love than them. All right. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray to you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaves arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. So let's look up that real quick. See, I'm not using my laptop today. Something's wrong with my mic on my laptop. So I got to use my phone with this, y'all. So it's like if some things aren't done properly the way I usually do them, you know what I'm saying? So let me look that up separately on my phone. All right. Genesis 37 and 5. This is Genesis chapter 37, verse 5. Look at that. I'm just trying to look up obedience for y'all so y'all can see what he's talking about. His shave showed obedience to him. There we go. Right there. Boom. So, obedience. It's in the Strong's H7812. Obedience, to bow down. That's obedience. Their shaves bowed down to him. And they were also getting mad as well at him, saying, what, are we going to bow down to you? Watch. For behold, this is Genesis 37:7. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaves arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obedience to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and his words. For his dreams and his words, because everything sounds grievous coming out of Joseph's mouth to them. They hated him because their father showed more love to Joseph than them, because he was the kid of his old age. You know what I'm saying? Having a kid in the old age, he was able to teach his youngest a whole lot more. You know, when you have children, the last one gets most of the knowledge, because you kind of do a lot of things wrong with the older kids. Now, when it comes to the youngest child, it's just a little bit better. You're able to guide him a lot more because you've seen a lot of things from the others. All right. So that was it of that. That was that prophecy of that. So we're going to go back to Genesis 42 and verse 6. And Joseph was the governor of the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. The same prophecy Joseph gave to his brothers in the beginning before he got into all this mess. So that was years ago. Okay. According to this story, that was years ago. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan, to buy food. Joseph, like, so he had to hide himself. He had to be strange. What is strange? Acting like a heathen nation. He acted like he hated them, because the heathen nations, they hate us. Joseph is showing you right there he had to act like a stranger. All right. Verse 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. Why? Because he had his head shaved and his face shaved. So he looked different. All right. Verse 9. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, ye are spies. To see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said unto him, nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. They are giving obedience to their brethren. Don't know. He told them in a prophecy that they were going to be given obedience. Their shaves gave obedience unto his. Okay. Verse 11. We are all one man's son. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, nay, but to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said, thy servants are 12. Why are they giving up all this information, man? They scared right now. Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is the day with our father and is not. See, y'all got to remember this right here has been said. Because Jacob started getting on the sons and why they said it. And it was like he knew they was lying. All right. Verse 14. And Joseph said unto them, this is that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Now remember that. Joseph just said they had a younger brother. Why? Because they told him. They told Joseph about the youngest brother. In verse 13, he's saying we are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. right? You're somebody else. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Why? Because that's his brother from the mother. They're all brothers from the same father, but from close to kin, Manasseh, Benjamin's his brother. Except, okay, verse 16. Send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into war 3 days. And Joseph said unto them on the third day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, and he just said, I fear God. That should have told them, man, he fear Yahweh. He know what Yahweh. Hold up, man. These Egyptians are vile men. You know what I'm saying? Got women on strip poles, sleeping with their nearest to kin sister. You know what I'm saying? You know, from the same mother and father, they're sleeping with them. You know, the law forbids that you sleep with your sister from the same mother. You can't be doing that. That's close to kin. You can go to Leviticus 18 on that one. You know what I'm saying? That's against the law. You can't be doing it. All right. Remember, of your people, you are brothers and sisters. Period. All right. That's another breakdown in one. It should show you who's close to kin. All right. Verse 17. And he put them all together into war 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother. In that we saw the anguish of his soul, when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. All right? In this distress, they got to keep the commandments. Things has happened. In distress, keep the commandments. In distress, keep the commandments. These things that's coming on of us, and this famine and everything, that's what's going to happen. Right now, I'm giving you the milk of what's going to happen in these last days. It's famine. And when type of stuff go on, still keep the commandments of the Most High in your distress. Keep the laws of the Most High in your distress. That affliction will make you forget pleasure. I'm trying to tell you, you be like eating a burger today, famine start, man, you forgot you ever had a burger. Like, I don't remember that damn burger. Man, shut up. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? You're being afflicted. All right. Verse 22. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child. And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. Reuben told him. He said, Hey, I told y'all. Remember I told y'all? He's reminding them. Verse 23. And they knew not Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. And he turned himself about from them and wept. Now you see why he acted like a stranger. He acted strange to them. He had also had an interpreter. All right. And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money unto his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money. For behold, he espied his money. Right? Let's see what that means. He espied his money. Let's see, 42, 27, verse 27. Boom. In the dictionary Bible, right? In the Strong's 7200, ra'ah in the Hebrew, ra'ah in the Hebrew. Espy, to see, look at, inspect, perceive, consider. All right. Verse 27. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money. He perceived his money. He inspected. He like, what the heck? My money's in here. For behold, it was in his sack's mouth. They just paid for the stuff, and now their money's there and the food. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored. And lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart filled them. And their heart filled them. What does that mean? It's like, oh my God, man. Your heart is the mind. What your mind it should bring, okay? Their heart filled them of what? All kind of thoughts. What's going on, man? What the hell just happened? Right? I will be thinking that too. You know what I'm saying? Verse 28. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them. So I failed, not failed, failed them. And they were afraid, saying one to another, what is that? What is this that God hath done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father, right? We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone, and bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that you are no spies, but that you are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, me have ye grieved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away? All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. So Reuben said that to him. Reuben's jumping out there like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into the hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. He said his brother is dead, talking about Joseph. He made it sound different from the other brothers. He is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, again, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Man's going to be broken, depressed, because his child is gone. You know what I'm saying? And every parent feels like that when their child is gone. You know what I'm saying? My mom's still mourning about my little brother, but you ain't supposed to mourn 10 days. That's it. That's the law. Now, bereaved, right? Shakal, shakale, shakal. All right. Make childless, miscarry, least children, robbed of children. All right. So it's talking about make childless. So you're going to bereave me. And you trying to make me childless. That's what he's trying to do. That's what Jacob said to his Reuben. He said, man, you trying to make me childless, man. I ain't finna let Benjamin go up there with you. If something happen, something can happen in a way. When y'all going with you, something can happen in a way. That's what can happen. But that ain't going down. All right. We ain't about to do that, man. We ain't about to do that at all. We're not about to let my bond go with nobody. And that's how I be feeling sometimes too. I ain't let my bond go with nobody. Man. Y'all crazy. I ain't saying my bond with nobody. I ain't finna leave him alone with me. If I don't trust you, my bond ain't going with you. And that's just it. You ain't finna have me bereaved. You know what I'm saying? All right, um, so at this time, the Egyptian and the Hebrew spoke a different language, as you can see. You know, hold up, Salakia. I'm back. Had to do something. That's none of your business. What I was doing, my own damn business. All right. Here we go. This is this is Genesis chapter 43 and verse 1. Um, and the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass when they had eaten of the corn which they had bought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, go again, buy us a little fod, a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, ye shall not see my face except your brother be with you. So now time went by. They ate all the food out of the sacks and everything else. Like the water king. They ate all the food out of the sacks and everything else. And now they got to go back to Egypt. So Judah just reminded his father Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Abba, you know that dude solemnly swear. We ain't gonna get nobody else unless we take Benjamin with us. Man, Jacob is feeling like, man, I ain't gonna try to let my bond go nowhere at all. All right. So let's see if he come off. His son. If thou wilt, this is verse 4. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy the food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me? And to tell the men whether ye had yet a brother. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like, let's see if they lie about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was over in where's that was? Because they was talking about how we are good men and everything else, and wait a minute, let me keep going. I'm gonna remember where it is. But at the same time, Jacob was like, man, why'd you have to tell him that? What you telling him that for, man? So here we go. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt you so ill with me, as to tell the men whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The men asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him, according to the tenor of these words, could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother. You know they lie, right?
I think it's 34, what you're looking for, and 42 and 34.
Let me see. Okay, yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, let me see.
It's close, if not.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's them telling their father what happened.
That wasn't it?
I don't know. Let me see. Read more.
It's a lot.
It's like y'all hold up. We're trying to find out where the lie came in at.
It was in 41, I think. Or the beginning of 42.
Well, it'll come. It'll come.
I'll look while you read.
All right, verse 8. And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live, and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety of him. Like basically, I am a holding, like you can hold me accountable. I'm a surety of him. You can hold me accountable of him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man presents, a little balm, a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds, and take double money in your hands. And the money that was bought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure, it was an oversight. All right. Take also your brother, and arise and go again unto the man. And go, and God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. If I be if I be childless of my children, I just be childless. He's just saying, if I'm going to be childless, I just be childless. That's what he's basically saying. Verse 15. And the men took the presents, and they took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to their ruler of the house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the men did as Joseph bade, and the men brought the men into Joseph's house. Right? And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we bought in, that he may seek occasions against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our asses? And they came near, and they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, the officer, right? And they communed with him at the door of the house and said, "Oh, sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in his mouth of his sack. Our money is full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And the other money have we brought down in the hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks." Basically, they just trying to cover all the basics and, cover each corner and everything else. Like, hey, man, we don't even know how the money got in there, but it's in there, but it took y'all a long time to come back, though. You know what I'm saying?
I think I got it wrong.
Let me see, where is it? What's it?
It's 41 and 42 and 13. This is where they talk about ye are spies.
Come. So we
13.
Yeah, I got you. Give me a second.
You said,
yeah,
that's why I said
11,
y'all spies, because y'all lied. All y'all brothers not here.
Say, we are all, this is Genesis 42 and 11. We are all one man's son. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12. 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. All right. So they told him, right? They told him, right? So, and that's why Jacob was like, man, why did you even have to say anything?
Yeah.
You didn't have to say nothing.
It was like he knew already.
But the fact is, why did you have to say that?
Right.
What was they doing? Exalting themselves or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Or they wasn't exalting, they was just scared.
So they were just telling them the truth.
Without even, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they could be just exalting themselves like we the 12 tribes or something. You know what I'm saying? We this people. If everybody know them by that, you know
right.
Probably. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Hey,
I think they was probably being humbled by Joseph because he was so high in power, and he was like, and he knew already kind of. So they was like, we can't lie to him.
Because sometimes when we in the hood, we be like, saying, hey man, who you kin to?
Yeah, who you kin for? You look like.
I'm from the South, so it's like, hey, we be like, hey man, hey, I'm a Bitten, I'm a McCoy. You know what I'm saying? We got Shinniverse over here, and he's like, man, we are all 12. So everybody know these 12.
Probably.
Everybody know Jacob, I guess. So, all right, where the hell?
Somewhere around 27.
Okay. All right.
I think it's about Carpenter on 24.
Okay, it's 20. Because they just got done talking to the officer at the door. Verse 22. And this is Genesis chapter 43 and verse 22. And other money have we bought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you. He said, man, Shalom. Fear not, your God and the God of your father hath given your treasures in your sacks. Let's say that again. And he said, Shalom. All right, peace be to you. Fear not, your God and the God of your father, right, hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the men brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. Now, that is a great humility right there, to wash somebody's feet, your brother's feet. Because back then they wore sandals. So washing your feet all the time was a good thing coming into somebody's house. Why? Because the bottom of your feet was always dirty. Had to wash your feet, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's like take your shoes off by the door.
Exactly. So take your sandals off by the door. It was just a custom. You know what I'm saying? Take your sandals off by the door. When they took their sandals off, wash your feet. Boy, your toenails
That's
crusty. Toenails. You know, you get all that dirt in your toenails crusty, bro. That's what that is, man. You need to wash your feet.
Call my servant, wash his feet on, get the crust out.
Yeah, bro. You gotta clip them toenails. Toenails be all long, man, hanging off the front of his shoes and everything. Yeah, hanging off the front of the same. We be saying dudes, not dudes. You see more females like that. They toenails be hanging off their sandals and shit. They're like he was cuffing the front of the sandals. You know what I'm saying? It's like growing, you know what I'm saying, underneath the shoe and shit.
Oh shit.
I can't even. Hey, man, my wife's you gonna have to do something with them feet.
Keep them under control.
Clip them. I got the motherfucking garden shears. You know what I'm saying?
The pruners and shit.
Cutting my motherfucking sheets up. Yeah, most no place.
23.
Yeah, we got that 24. And the men brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. Mm-hmm. And they made ready the presents against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the presents which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them their welfare, and said, Is your father well? The old man of whom you spake, is he yet alive? Remember, they told him all this. He's just asking them.
You know, we still do that today. I'd be like, what's up, Mark? How you old man?
How your daddy doing? How your daddy doing, man? You know what I'm saying? What's he doing today? Verse 28. And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance again. Prophecy.
As the sheep, yeah.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son.
That's right.
And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. What was he yearning about?
He was crying hard.
Yeah,
he was crying hard.
Man, y'all niggas did this to me, man. So y'all even know what I look like no more, man. I was 17 when I'm 33 now, man. Damn, that's what 16 years.
Hey, but the thing is, though, what's crazy is he couldn't have a beard or an afro.
Maybe he shaped it.
Yeah, he couldn't have that. So they had to remember, like, how y'all doing? It been that long? Like, damn.
Half the years he was alive, man. He was 17.
That would have messed me up too. So I was young. That was like me when my son died.
That is verse 30. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. And he sought where they weep. He sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, Set on bread. Let's get ready to eat. And they set on for him by himself, and they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that it is an abomination unto the Egyptians. So you're over these men that are heathens, and they sitting at another table because they don't want to sit with you because it's against the commandment.
So what makes people think that we should sit with them now if they did that to us back then? You know what I mean?
And they sat, 33, this verse 33, and they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled at one at another. And he took and sent Mises unto them before him. But Benjamin, Mises, was 5 times so much as any of theirs, and they drunk and were merry with him.
What is Mises?
Find that meaning. 43 and 34.
Strong's 4864. Mass eighth. Mass eighth.
Masaith. Masaith in the Hebrew, but in the English it said something else. Macis. Macis. Let me see. Masaith in the Hebrew. Masaith. But we're just gonna keep it in the Hebrew.
Right? That's right.
Masaith, right? It means utterance, burden, portion. All right, uplifting. So a portion. His portion was much bigger than the rest of them, right? So verse 34, and he took and sent Mesith unto them before him. But Benjamin's Mesith was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drunk and were married with him. Why Benjamin was? Because that was his brother.
His full brother.
From the same mother and father. Everybody else had a different mother, but the same father. That's why Jacob referred to him as your brother. You know what I'm saying? Your brother is not here, and his brother's already dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Back then they didn't take that personal. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like Joseph, but they didn't take that personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's just how things was. So now we're moving on to chapter 44. Let me see. Well, y'all better be getting this milk, man. We're reading chapter 44. We're going to stop at verse 17. All right. Joseph's policy to stay his brethren. Judah's humble supplications to Joseph. All right. So let's see what we get into. This is Genesis chapter 44 and verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack mouth, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. What is Joseph about to do? Joseph about to mess with them. He's about to really, really mess with them. Look what happened. Watch this. Verse 1, chapter 44, Genesis 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sack with food as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack mouth, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men. And when thou doest overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh? And whereby indeed he divineth. Ye have done evil in so doing. He's telling them what to say. They
took the cup. Yeah, he trying to make it like he took the cup. That's right.
Verse 6, and he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto them, wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servant should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sack mouth, we bought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of the Lord's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. Now he's saying too much again.
Once again, now you're making a promise you can't cash.
You're saying too much right now. You want to stop. All right, verse 10. And he said, now also let it be according unto the words. He who hath it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes and laid every man his ass and returned to the city. Why they rent their clothes? What it made it look like they've been into a brawl.
Yeah, they was mad.
Then Jacob said, "Pre-adventure in the way, mischief happened."
Yeah.
Mischief happened. You know what I'm saying?
He foreknew.
And Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, "What deed is this that they have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?" And Judah said, "What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak?" Well, he's basically saying, "What do you want me? What do you want us to say? What do you want us to do?" You know what I'm saying?
Basically talking to Benjamin while they bowed down or something.
"What shall we speak, or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found." And he said, "God forbid that I should do so. But the man whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. As for you, get you up in peace unto your father." And we got to stop
said,
that.
I want my brother. I want my brother.
Because they say you got to come back. Well, hey, that'd be the end of that right there. That's the law. And we're reading this law to y'all. I mean, y'all got to get it together now. All right. And that's all we're going to do right now is the law. All right. The prophets and the gospel, we're not going to do today. I'm just showing y'all what the milk is right here. This is the milk. This is where it begins. These are the laws that is right here. Now you can look at all these examples of things that happen in here, and you can see the righteous things that's supposed to happen and not supposed to happen. And you can see the laws. You can see the you can see the about it. What is that? The statutes. The statutes, the moral, civil, dietary, ceremonial. You can start seeing those laws and how they implement them and what happens. Because as you can see, Most High was still with Joseph the whole way. But what laws was Joseph breaking?
Just the hair and the beard.
Exactly. Yeah. And the philosophies of them. But he, in his distress of his captivity, he kept the commandments.
Yeah, he had to do all the ones that was necessary for him to still live. But the ones that he could keep, he kept them. Even the camaraderie.
Well, he kept all the commandments. He kept all. Only thing he didn't do was the bald head and the beard.
The beard and
was that right there. He was just keeping, you know what I'm saying? He was just like doing the laws of the land, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And not to not be killed. Because right now, you can have a beard. And some jobs are trying to cut it off.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but so now imagine with Joseph in his distress in Egypt, we in our distress in Egypt. Up under this captivity, in our distress, keeping the commandments like Joseph did.
Powerful.
So
powerful.
You always gotta look. You always gotta look. So when you go to First Maccabees chapter 2, and you always gotta look to your fathers and what they did in their captivity. That's what the Most High was talking about. Let me see.
It kind of gives you input on how to treat your brothers too.
Okay. So when you go to First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 53, and it said Joseph in the time of his distress kept the commandments and was made Lord of Egypt. In his distress. And that is just an example of what we got to do in our distress. Keep the commandments.
So he was made Lord of the land. Went over that part too.
And he was made Lord of the land. All right. Let me go somewhere else real quick.
Can't argue with that.
I'm trying to be made Lord over the land.
Yeah, I'll take Charles' place.
So this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. They say, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Mm-hmm. And what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you, hey, this is what Joseph did. When you come to us, we're going to say, hey, this is our time of distress, man. This is what we got to do. We got to keep the commandment. We got to do this. We got to do that. When this happened, he was also an example of, you know, how the last days brothers sticking together. It's like, all right, cool. All of us is in captivity now. You take him, you got to take us too. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is.
Just like that.
You know what I'm saying? Going to get food, how we deal with the, it says that in Matthew, because of stuff happened right there. Quickly agree with the adversary in a way before he end up throwing you in jail and shit.
Right.
So they're quickly agreeing with their adversary.
Right, that's what Joseph did.
Yeah, in a way. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cut it.
Hey, man, hey, check this out. They're saying you're servants. They're calling themselves servants. They're basically talking to Joseph and them.
Yeah.
You're servants.
Like he's a pharaoh. Yeah.
They're humbling themselves. You know what I'm saying? He's just humbling himself because these heathens, you know. And then he also said that what did Joseph say? He made himself strange to them when he first saw him.
Because he had an interpreter.
Yeah, he had an interpreter.
Yeah.
But we didn't know he had an interpreter yet. But he made himself strange. He started speaking roughly to them, and that's what these heathens do to us. They speak roughly to us. So he was just doing whatever. Your feet are tore up, woman. We'll see. Anyways, but at the same time, that's what happened. He just made himself strange, and that's strange to us because we're supposed to treat each other with love and respect. So Joseph was treating his brothers and them strange and showing them no love. He was just acting real after up to them, setting them up and everything.
It was cold though because he ended up putting their money back in their sacks 3 times, and Jacob was like, "Hey, how y'all still got this money? Nah, go get that back and buy some more."
Yeah.
Like he was like, "We not making no covenant with them." You know what I mean?
Hey, man, and with that, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son of Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, who the world we call Jesus Christ, Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allahaya Nawa, Yahweh Ached, Hear Israel, the Lord our God is our Lord. And that'll be it of the law of the Torah portion. Shalom.
So